Your package says delivered, but delivered where exactly? The hallway? The lobby? Your neighbor's apartment? Instead of playing detective with your deliveries, get a mailbox at the UPS store. We'll sign for your packages, text you when they arrive, and keep your deliveries low-key under lock and key. Get 3 months free mailbox services with a new annual agreement at the UPS store. For full details and to get your coupon, visit theupsstore.com/offer.
So welcome everybody to the Premier League Cricket Show, and we are talking week 9. We're almost halfway through. It seems to be flying by right now, and it's flown by the last couple of weeks when we've not been able to get all three of us together for various reasons. But today we have my co-host, as always, Mr. Hugh Newsom, who we will not be talking about cricket and himself this weekend. How you doing, bud?
Good, yeah. No, I was at download, so it was great. We had an away match that I didn't fancy and ended up at download, so it's a good excuse to dodge the away match.
Absolutely. And we've also we've got him back, and he's not going to talk about much cricket because not much happened. Mr. Matt Taaffe at Cric, aka Blackpool CC Premier League player. Why didn't you get much cricket, mate?
Dangerous pitch, match abandoned. It's a first for me, and I doubt it'll happen again. We got, I think it was 8 overs, and that was pin pulled early day on the Guinness. So, that was my weekend.
And what time did you tell the missus it was called off?
I think it was about 9:15. So the perks of having
average listener,
the perks of having a girlfriend that doesn't show any interest or love for cricket. So yeah. Just finished now, getting a shower, 9:15.
Yeah. Did she ask how you got on?
No, she never does.
Does she not?
No.
That's about right. Hey, got to ask then. You were top of the league and you're down to 4th place. If I worked it out correctly, somehow an abandonment, you end up with equal points. Not quite sure how that works in the long term.
Neither am I, to be honest. We've come away with 3 points each from the home team not producing a good enough wicket, to be honest. So first to 4th, 3 points each. I think we're putting a little appeal to the league to try and get the points. See what happens there. But like you say, I think logically you should be awarded full points. You've been denied the chance of winning a game of cricket. So
it's like the default points breakdown is what is on Play Cricket, and then the league will have a look, I'd assume.
So like you say, touch wood, because to go from 1st to 4th for no fault of your own's a bit of a kick in the teeth. And like you say, if we got full points, 12 points with a win on Saturday, we'd have took like 6 point lead up top. So with everyone beating everyone in the Northern League, it's sort of a big gap, really. But see what comes about.
Got to ask the question, G, if anyone's listening. Precedent set elsewhere around the country. Let us know what's happened in your leagues when that sort of thing's happened. Won't be the first abandonment, but I'm glad I was able to get in touch with Matt on Sunday and find that out, because for some reason I'm looking up and down the scores Saturday night, Hugh, thinking, why was there a cloud over Longridge? Because it was the only place in the bloody country, it looks like. 65,000 runs, 180 games, 45 centurions, but actually there was a decent number of fifers this weekend, wasn't there?
Yeah, and I've also got 3 ties as well, so we'll discuss those in a bit.
3?
There's, whether just our system's picking up the ties better, but I don't remember it. But every week we seem to have at least 2. So 3 ties: Bedminster Bath tie, Shepshed Barrow tie, Denton West Row Green tie, GMCL Leicester and Rutland and the Whipple. So some tie games going on. The Bath one, I haven't looked into the other 2 in detail, but the Bath one, I think Bath will regret that tie.
I think that's about right. I think that's about right. Yeah, and I think even though there's plenty of runs around, to see 68 fifers outweighing the tons by 50%, that we haven't seen that for a while either, have we?
No, but I suppose we've had some dubious conditions prior, and then which is drying out and dry on top and damp underneath and all those other things that scare groundsmen. So I suspect take a week or so for things to settle down. But we needed the rain. It feels like it's been quite a nice summer. It's just it seems to be raining on certain cricket days, doesn't it? But I don't feel like it's been a bad summer. I'm not craving a trip to Spain at the moment. So, and I think looking at my jet stream forecast, which is where I head to, I look at the 30-day jet stream forecast, and that is looking decent. So hopefully we're going to get some a good extended period of weather to enjoy.
Oh, Mr. Matt Taaffe licking his lips, thinking of that nice hard track that he can play on at Netherfield this weekend.
We're at home.
Oh.
You'd probably rather be away the way the pitch has been playing at Blackpool.
Well, like I said, I'm just looking out the window now, and we've got the Blaze training ahead of their one-day game against the Thunder tomorrow. So I think we'll be on one of their decks, to be honest.
So we'll be keeping a close eye on those scores tomorrow.
Yeah, well, like I say, he's in a bit of form. Netherfield's pro. He's bowling quick and whacking it. He's got 200 this weekend. So in form for Stanley Park. Great to see.
Absolutely. Hey, let's have a look at the first league of the weekend, Hugh, and we're going to go over to the Lincolnshire League, which we had quite a lot of look at last year because there were certain players there in particular who just never stopped bloody scoring runs over there because obviously very, very dry in particular. The Lincolnshire League presently, Sleaford top of the league, and last year's champions, Bracebridge Heath, they're a game behind. They're 21 points behind, but they're in with a shout still. This league, for those who don't know, is one of those leagues that's made some changes over the winter and is now down to 10 clubs. So there is a little bit like the Northern Premier League, 2 going down. It's going to be very tight one way or the other. But what are you seeing there over the weekend, mate?
Well, Sleaford had a very, very tight win, which was obviously mightily important. Bracebridge Heath, I suppose that was also relatively tight. I think it got a bit tight towards the end. But Sleaford playing Scunthorpe at Sleaford. Scunthorpe batted first. Sam Jarvis got 78 not out. Not a huge amount of health. They battled to 193 or 50 overs, and then Sleaford got it in the 42nd over, 9 down. So it was a bit tight on that one. George Wood 62, Sean Solier 33, and Sam Morby with 30. Nobody really troubling the wickets too much. I think it was a fairly it was a fairly spread around bowling performance, shall we say. Just looking at the ball by ball for Sleaford there, they were 9 down for a good while. They had a good 4 or 5 overs, 9 down, and so they've done well to get the win there. Bracebridge Heath, they were playing Woodall Spa. Bracebridge Heath put up 244 in their 50 overs batting first, and then they bowled out Woodall Spa for 232. Chris Barler got 56 for Bracebridge Heath. Aratia Cowell, he got 46 off 92 balls. Sam Clegg with 39 not out. That was important. George Pocklington, 3 for 40 in 10 overs. Was the best bowlers for Woodall Spa. And then Taaffe Tahir, who was the leading Premier League run scorer, I want to say 3 years ago, was it? 3 or 4 years ago. He got 77. He's having a good season. George Pocklington also got 75. Great performance from him. But there wasn't enough to get him over the line. Alex Willerton, 3 for 40 off his 10. And Avishka Thrindu, surprise, surprise, 3 for 19 off 3.2 overs with the win there. So Bracebridge is going well. Spalding they were chasing Bourne's 162 all out. Rob Dunn with 41. Nobody else really putting up a big score. Ninatha Atapatu got 5 for 22 off 10 overs. Fantastic bowling from him. And then Spalding weren't able to get there. They fell short in the 48th over. Divesh Vasharan, I hope I pronounced that one right. He got 30. Again, it was a spread around chase, lots of people dipping in with 20s. Sam Everson, 2 for 15, was the pick of the bowlers for Bourne. But I think Spalding will be feeling a bit sorry for themselves, finishing 5 short of Bourne's total there. Burley Park, Lyndon, a bit more comfortable. Burley Park, 220 for 9 and 50. Xavier Wildsmith, 45 not out, but a continuation of the theme of runs being spread around. Burley Park, lots of guys getting 10s, 20s. I think we had 2 people got less than double figures, but everyone else has chipped in with double figures, including number 10, who is Xavier Wildsmith. He got 45. And number 11, Peter Ruffle with 20. So those are very much a team effort for Burley Park. And then Lyndon bowled out in 45 overs, well short. There was 70 odd short. I think and Dan Cleveland with 29. Nobody else really getting going. KS Headley 3 for 23. Ryan Gilmore 3 for 37 did the damage. Grimsby and Grantham. Grantham batted first. It was at Grimsby, and they got bowled out in 31 overs for 120. Rampandy with 48. Nobody else got going. Harrison Tice 5 for 6 off 5 overs. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? And then Quadrat Kadri 55 for Grimsby. Anthony Ngava 21 not out, and they got it relatively comfortably 4 down in just 21 overs. So an early finish there. And that's the Lincolnshire Prem for the weekend.
Yeah, and it was that Grimsby Grantham game that caught my eye when I was flicking through ready for today. And that Harrison Tice bowling spell, they were in a relatively comfortable position to start with. When Grantham were batting, they've got themselves to 83 for 1, lost a wicket, 85 for 2, lost a wicket. They were still on 104 for 3. When they were then lost their 4th wicket. But they lost their 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th wicket for the space of 16 runs, which included Harrison Tice's 5 for 6. And most remarkably, he was the 5th bowler used on the day. So we're not talking here about the opening bowlers who basically didn't contribute. Hayden Tice with 0 for 30, Mohammed Ayub with 0 for 23. Harrison comes on as the 5th bowler, says, "What are you 4 playing at?" 5 for 6. That could be quite an interesting one to hear the background on, without a doubt. And he's not in the top wicket takers of the week with only 5, but you don't see a 5 for 6 very often, do you? So there's low as that.
But I mean, just to bring him back down to earth, he got a 3-ball duck opening the batting. So you win some, you lose some, don't you?
Welcome to the Premier League, Harrison. And we like to keep things nice and level all the way there, don't we? Most definitely. Hey, as I say, we've got Sleaford in top place, Bracebridge Heath in 2nd, and Grimsby 3rd. It's still a long way to go. There's 11 games left in that season. There's a long, long way to go. But I'm sure Sleaford are sitting quite pretty, having that 21-point lead at the top of the table when it's only 20 points for a win in that league. So, there is that little opportunity to pull away. And the one thing I would say, Hugh, about the whole of the Lincolnshire League there, not as many runs as we're used to seeing, is there? We've talked the last couple of weeks about the North East and the North Yorkshire South Durham League having more runs than normal. By Lincolnshire standards, they were quite low scores.
Yeah, I think, you've got, you always talk about pitches and all the rest of it, but it's unusual for Lincolnshire not to be smashing it. So we'll see. Hopefully things will settle down and normal service can be resumed. But yeah, it's definitely one of the highest run scoring leagues in the country. Seems to be a lot of Sri Lankans there as well. Then the Sri Lankan overseas, seem to like it a lot, and they tend to put up some big numbers, don't they? So maybe it's a bit harder to get Sri Lankans over this year, isn't it, Matt? Is that the case?
Well, it's been the case across the board, hasn't it, since they changed the eligibility to 24 months as opposed to 36 months. So yeah, you lost a lot of talented players.
Didn't the Sri Lankan first class system get sort of chopped in half as well? Is that right?
Yeah. So tier A and B were both classed as first class, and it's just tier A now. So your tier Bs have lost that status again. You're losing a massive chunk and a crop of talented cricketers, really.
Yeah, it's a shame that they always add value, don't they? And they're just such reliable pros.
Absolutely. Hey, while we're talking about runs, we might as well do the batters, and we'll start with you, Mr. Matt Taaffe. Let's do your batters first at Cric X, and who's been in the runs at the weekend?
Yeah, we've had plenty of hundreds, to be honest. But Sharon Fonseca at Denby's gone back to back, 141 not out, leads the charts again off 127 balls. So he's in some fine form. But yeah, he tops the charts again. Josh Hartill, he's a Tasmania second 11 player, albeit it's not Premier League cricket before you jump at me. He's playing over in Ireland for Cork County. He's got 133 off 111 balls. He's a serious player. And again, the restrictions with the pathway cricketers does stop these players coming over to Premier League cricket. But he's a serious talent, obviously in grade cricket as well out there. Gareth Severin for Middleton, 116 not out. He's finally come in the runs.
Hang on. You went to number 4 there. Can we have number 3 as well, please?
Do you want me to bring a sub-pro in a Sri Lankan London competition?
Yeah, because I want to hear you say his name.
Raminder Wijesaria.
Yay!
Very good.
132 off 47. He is, yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, it was on a Sri Lankan national something league that they play on a Sunday down south.
Was it?
Good standard.
Carnage.
Yeah, it's a good standard of cricket. There's basically every single Sri Lankan pro in the country that sort of plays in it if clubs allow. So he's absolutely blasted 100 there. Another 100 blasted in T20. Ahmed Khan at Okamore, 111 off 56. Again, he's scoring runs for fun for them. And then we've had 104 not out for Shreyans Ghosh for Hatherley. Jacob Cumming, 103 for Beverley Town. Rowan Taplin, a South African British passport holder for St Austell. He's gone 103 not out as well. Vishva Perez for Workington up in Cumbria, 103 not out. We've had 103 not outs this weekend, which you don't usually see, but I could go on for more. We've had a lot of hundreds this weekend.
Check those betting markets. That's what I say.
Agreed.
Yeah, definitely. Good weekend all round there. Hugh, what about our batters? We only just beat Sharon Fonseca's 141 not out. I'm going to say this is quite a low high score, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of double hundreds and all sorts. Yeah, the judge, the original judge sadly passed away very recently, but yeah, Robin Smith, Papawick and Limby versus Cavs, 147 off just 78 balls. I think he's probably South African overseas, but he may have a British passport. He certainly played in a few different leagues, including Cheshire. But yeah, terrific from him. But yeah, the 147 is a bit lower than what we've seen in the over the past few weeks. And Abu Dayan Galiam, 139 for Netherfield of 102 balls in a certain Northern Pyramid. He's going to go quite well next week, as Matt has suggested. Looking forward to seeing him. Then Johnny Booth of Townville, 133 not out off 150 balls in the Bradford Prem. And then Imran Butt for Ammanford in South Wales comp. He's got 130 off 137 balls, and Abdul Wahid 130 off 118 balls there. Luke Robinson just a bit further down for Nantwich, a 70 ball, 129, including 12 sixes. I think that was the most sixes hit this weekend by anybody. So congrats to him as well. But yeah, a few more popping up.
Yeah, and a couple I want to point out along the way. Innings of the weekend, I'm probably biased when it comes to this one, but when you see a young Shivi Gautam scoring 101 off 155 balls with Stephen Lucas at the other end at North, I mean, you're talking the experience of the youth there, aren't you, Matt, with the two of them? And to see Shivi get that ton, absolutely thrilled for him, really pleased to see. We think it could be one of the youngest out there. However, we were pointed out by very quickly that the youngest Premier League ton we can find out there right now was by Mr. Liam Banks. Surprise, surprise, at 14 years and I think 1 month old, we were told. So it was bound to be Liam of all people, wasn't it, Hugh?
Well, it was. I suspect was Liam Banks the Luke Littler of Premier League cricket. You know, He had a beard at 9, driving at 12, that kind of thing. It was Liam Banks. Let's
sounds
so.
right, definitely.
Yeah,
just a couple of others to pick out along the way. Nick Halstead-Cleek there, back at Bristol with a ton. Jack Boyle with a ton for Wimbledon. Nelson. Darren Stevens, wonder who he is. St. Lawrence and Highland Court getting out on 111. Somebody called O.A. Shah playing for Totteridge and Mill Hillians. You know, some great names popping up here. And he's in our top all-rounders, second place. Neil Hornbuckle. 113 off 94 with 4 for 42. That's some performance there. And we probably won't talk about this other guy I'm going to mention now again this week, as Hugh waxed lyrical about him last week. Ben Walkston, 6 for 39, destroying the champions Ormskirk of the Liverpool competition, and 59 to take Newton Le Willows and keep them at the top of the table there. We talked about him last week and we won't stop talking about him, will we, Hugh?
I just think he's on a bit of not the run of form of his life, but I mean, someone's got to give the guy a game, don't they? And I mean, I suppose we're in a mixture of county championship and T20, but with the it's not the Pro 40 these days, Metrobank coming up. I mean, somebody's got to stick him in a Metrobank side, haven't they?
Yeah, he's been playing a couple of two stuff for Lancs, hasn't he? The past 2 weeks. Done well there as well.
Playing twos, it's just he needs is he going to get an opportunity at Lancs? if they got 2 minutes, I know they're not actually having the hottest of seasons, so maybe there will be an opportunity for him, but he's got to find an opportunity somewhere, hasn't he, while he's on this form. It would be a real shame to let this season go by without a professional game under his belt. I don't think he's played a professional game already. Anybody else?
Not as far as we're aware. And I think something we pointed out last week, and Tom Evans from Merseyside Cricket stood it over the weekend as well. The fact that Ben is the leading wicket taker and the leading run scorer in the Liverpool comp at the same time, and he's a bloody seamer. He's not a slow left armer. That's unheard of. He's literally unheard of. And this is, as you say, the prime opportunity for a county to say, man in form, let's see what he can do.
Well, and all-rounders are a top currency, aren't they? If you're all-rounder, you can field as well, can't you? If you're doing everything, you're banking the money. If you can field, if you can bat, if you can bowl, it's a safe bet to stick in your county championship side, or you're certainly a Metrobank side, because if one bit of the game fails for them, they're going to contribute with another bit. So it's just give him a chance. Somebody give him a chance. I don't know. Anybody, Glamorgan, Worcestershire, Derbyshire.
Lancashire. Let's stay at Lancashire.
Well, it'd be lovely if Lancaster give him a chance, but is he? Are these big sides where you want to start a career? Like that. Is that where you're going to get the best opportunities? Someone needs to give him a consistent run of games, not the odd game. And then go, 2 games. Sorry, I've got Virat Kohli coming in, or somebody like that. So. Yeah, you never know. Drop for Virat Kohli.
Back of 700 runs and 50 wickets in Australia as well. So he's carried on. His class act.
We say it all along. They seem to come back with that bounce, don't they?
Yeah. It's not like he's had a bad trot, but it looks like his bowling in particular has absolutely fired off the back of that season. He had a very good 2021 season, albeit cut short, but he's averaging 9 with the ball, 58 wickets at 9. That's again, as a seamer, that's left arm IPL spinner territory, isn't it, in the Liverpool comp? So, and that's across all his first team games. But give the guy a chance. I think we should probably park it there in terms of going on about him. But if the more he performs, it's very hard to ignore him.
And before we talk bowlers, let's talk about one of the other leagues we're going to talk about this week. Going to go down to South Wales. We missed a chance to talk about them properly last time they were on the rotation, because guess what? The weather got in the way. Whereas last weekend, we got away with some decent weather. So the big story coming out of South Wales for me, very simple one. One of the strongest sides down there, the champions last year, St Fagans, down in 7th place now. There's only 7 games gone, but they've been very in and out this season so far. 2nd place, Newport from last year, they are top of the table at the moment. And the team who came 3rd last year, Pontarddulai, they're in relegation territory. Carmarthen Wanderers and Penarth, who actually both got promoted, they're doing all right. Penarth's not too bad. But some interesting stuff going on down there. And I don't know if you want to start with that St Fagans game where they actually did get a win at the weekend there, Hugh.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my league tables are slightly out of date, so I'm just updating them. But yes, St Fagans batted first, 194 for 6 on the board, 72 not out for Owen Morgan. Not that one. Tom Kosh was 46 not out. A couple of really crucial knocks from those two. Nobody else really troubling the scorers there. And then David Evans, 3 for 29 for Pontarddulai. Thomas Edwards, 2 for 46. Did damage. And then St Fagans were able to quickly bowl out Pontarddulai. Well, not quickly, but bowl out 42 overs. Yestin Rees, 21. Sam Jardine, 20, with the 2 top scorers, Owen Morgan and Bavi Doshi, 2 wickets apiece in their 10 overs. Rodley Lewis, 2 for 27 as well. Jumping up to Cardiff, Abergavenny. Abergavenny, I can speak it properly. They batted first. They got bowled out just right and short of their 50 overs for 184. Majid IS 100 off 121 balls. David Clark 32, but nobody else really going with them. Zach Healy 3 for 22. Tom Barry 3 for 27 for Cardiff. And then when Cardiff batted, they got home just in time. 2 balls left, 9 wickets down. Really good game of cricket. Tejid Phillips 59, Joe Willis 30, Sam Wyatt 29. So a bit of a team effort with the bat. Sam Clark 4 for 31 for Abergavenny. And then Majid Ayas again, 354. He had a really, really good game, but it wasn't enough. They snuck home with a wicket left and a couple of balls. So great game of cricket there. Ammanford Usk. Ammanford put up 276 for 9 and 50 overs. Imran Butt 130 off 137 balls, and then Usk got it what looks to be off the last ball. I think scores possibly level, and then they hit a 4. Will Smale 81 off just 66 balls. Really useful from him. Guy Moore, Matt Williams also with decent scores. Matt Marriott for us got 3 for 45. Meanwhile, Owen Davies got 3 for 45 as well for Ammanford. But yeah, a very, very tight win for Usk. Some good cricket in South Wales this weekend.
Yeah.
Bridgend and Carmarthen. Bridgend batted first at Carmarthen, and they got 141. Might have been feeling that was a little short, bowled out with 4 overs to go, but they cleaned up Carmarthen very quickly. 81 all out. Curtis Marsh 26. Nobody else getting much done. A couple of fourthers in the game. Carmarthen's Owen Binding 4 for 19 off just 8.5 overs, and then Aaron Davies 4 for 23 off 7 for Bridgend to get them the win. And then the last game was at Penarth. Penarth batted first, 169 all out in 49.5 overs. Adib Ayas, 51 off 60 balls. Sai Kumuni, 46 off 83 with the top scorers there. Chris Cole with 4 for 27. Kamal Sahabedin, 4 for 36 for Newport. And then Newport snuck over the line with 2 balls left and just 2 wickets in hand. Campbell McMillan, 74 not out, was the crucial innings from either side in the game. Harry Friend got 27. And then Mark Thomas, 4 for 25, got the win. So, yeah, some really, really tight games aside from the Bridgend Carmarthen game. So, really good weekend's cricket in South Wales after the washout last week.
Yeah, in particular, that last game you talked about there, Penarth and Newport. Campbell McMillan with 14 in that last over, 2 sixes and a 2 in the 4 balls, was what got them over the line to it was a last over stretch for them. But he did arrive in that last over on 60 not out off 100 balls, so he must have been seeing it quite well. And he decided, here we go. Away you go. Great way to finish. That for Newport, very important, kept them at the top of the table, which is where you want to be. So the one thing that's very noticeable about the first 2 leagues that we've talked about this week, we're going to come to you now, Taff, but there are fifers out there, but not that many hundreds overall. Lots of 50s, lots of people getting going. I know you had a ridiculous pitch at Longridge, which forced the game to be abandoned. But do you think that's just a case of after the weather the last couple of weeks, everyone's got these pitches that are not quite there and you're getting a bit of both?
Yeah, I think Hugh touched on it just before. Like you say, you've had a bad couple of weeks preparation with the rain, or a couple of days preparation, before Saturday. Like you look at Lancs at Blackpool here this week in the Champo game, like couldn't get on the pitch for 2 days, and then first day there was 14 wickets fell, and then it eventually got flatter. Just hopefully Lancs could have batted a bit better, but yeah, like you say, rain in the week just leaves it underprepared for a Saturday game. So I reckon that's a reason, really.
Yeah, definitely. Great to obviously catch up on all things in Lincolnshire. We've done South Wales. We've talked a little bit about those pitches and what's cracking off there, Taff. But you've still got some bowlers who have had some success, shall we say, mate?
Yeah, plenty. Again, to go with the hundreds, we've had an awful lot. We could have had 20. Could talk about 20 of the fifers, but yeah, we've had 3 7-fers. Akib Khan for Woking, 7 for 22. Meran Samwell at Wanstead, 7 for 30, albeit second team coming back from injury by all accounts. Heshan Hetiarachi, 7 for 57, and then we're into the 6-fers, and familiar name Shafi Ghaffari, 6 for 50. We've got, again, a British passport holder, South African Kieran Bradley. He's a left-arm spinner, 6 for 35. He's gone back-to-back fifers for Brentham, so he's going to be a nice little catch for anyone next year, or if he goes back to Brentham. But like you say, he looks a good bowler. And then fifers for Mayank Mishra. Surprise, 5 for 26 for him. Araman Singh for Wallasey, 5 for 28. Now, this guy can bowl. They took a bit of a gamble on him. He's just become eligible. He's played his 5 first-class games and been in a couple of IPL camps and sort of took first class by storm, really. And he's showing his class for Wallasey. He's a proper bowler. and he gives it a bit of a whack with the bat. But yeah, fifers for Andrew, Resmeen for Burbage, 5 for 32. And then, like you say, I could go on and talk more about fifers, but I'll just get bored of my own voice, I think.
Absolutely, and so would we. But
Yeah.
6 out of your top 10 there, mate. Premier League clubs. Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm really pleased to see Meran take 7 for over at Wanstead in particular. A big change from being down at Penzance to going to the Essex League, and that's the first time we've seen his name right up there. We are getting bored of hearing Shafi Ghaffari and Mike Mishra's names, to be frank. They're just non-stop, these guys, aren't they, to say the least. Brilliant stuff. Thanks for that update on Cric X, mate. And I know you're busy. You've got to go and shake some hands and do some business, hopefully.
Yeah, try to. Could be turned around on the door.
Absolutely.
Hopefully not. Right, cool.
You get your ID.
Cheers. What about our bowlers then, Mr. Newsom? We do have 68 fifers, including a couple of eightfers.
Yeah. It was definitely seemed to be a weekend for the bowlers. So Chithara Pereira, Royton versus Brooks Bottom, 8 for 47, the GMCL. That's off just 14.2 overs. Yeah. Amazing from there. And then Alfie Hunter, 20 overs. These guys getting a few more than 10 overs to get these wickets. 8 for 88 for Hastings and Slens Priory versus Bognor and Sussex. Cam Parsons, 7 for 13 for High Wycombe off 10 overs. And then Ajay Kunti, again, he just seems to be popping up all over our scorecards with the bat, with the ball. He's up there with all-rounders of the season so far. He is having some season for Swauxton, 7 for 37. And Carlos Nunes, who I'm sure plays for Brazil in the World Cup, but Carlos Nunes, 12 overs, 7 for 37 as well. But yeah, we've got another 7 for the Perry Derrick. 7.51 for Dorridge against Hales Owen in the Birmingham Prem. But yeah, loads of 6-fers. Niels Priestley's popped up there. He's quietly having a really good season. He had a couple of quiet ones after, having a dominant season, a couple of years ago, 2-3 seasons ago. He's really putting together a nice season again with bat and ball, averaging just over 12, I think, with the ball. So yeah, a couple of big names in amongst it all, but and then a lot of the usual suspects. Tom Sefton, 5 for 15, Ed Jones at Audley, 5 for 14 off just 8 overs, and a few others that I'm sure you can pick out. A few. Mitch Wagstaff there at A&B against Chesterfield, 5 for 28 with his leg spin. So yeah, been a very, very good weekend for the bowlers.
Yeah, definitely. Good to see Seb Allison, who moved over to Esher in the Surrey Championship. We talked about that shortly with a 5 for there. And the other one that I picked up as I was going through them this morning was Nick James, 5 for 52, still taking wickets down there at Nolan Dorridge. And Sam Perry, 5 for 70, old of the edge. More used to seeing him take runs off people than taking wickets, but he was there. But going back to AJ Cunty, playing for Derbyshire Twos today, 61 against Lancashire. Again, a little bit like our friend Ben Walkden, just one or two of these guys, the names are popping up week in, week out, and we love keeping an eye on names, don't we, that pop up week in, week out.
Yeah, and Chris Dent popped up at Callington. His batting hasn't quite gone to plan, but bowling, he's 16 wickets at 13, so he's got a 5 for this weekend to go with it. So
absolutely,
he's contributing all round. Just before we move on, let's have a look at these 3 tie games. Yeah. Just because they're always fun, aren't they, to just discuss the ties. I will start with the Bath game. Bath versus Bedminster. Bedminster batted first, 2-4-3 for 8 off 50 overs. This is in the West of England Premier League. Good contributions all round. Will Saltzman, 54, top scored. Jamie Brooks top scored, 56 for Bedminster. Bath on the chase. Harry Dixon's 96. Harry Ellison, 45. James Arney, 43. And then the fun starts. So Bath, very, very comfortable. I think they needed something like 16 to win off the last 5 overs with 5 wickets in hand. 4 runs off the 45th over, just 1 run and then 2 wickets off the 46th over, 2 runs off the 47th over, currently 7 down, 48th over, 4 runs, but that's after losing George Axtell out, run out as well, needing, what was that? You're needing 9 to win, run out. It's all gone a bit Pete Tong, hasn't it, at that point?
Yeah.
Final over, you've got a 4 get off the second to last ball of the 48th over, final over, 4 off the second ball. You're thinking, job done. And then you're needing 1 to win. Dot ball, wicket, caught and bowled, dot ball, run out for a tie game. So the scores were level for the last 4 balls with 2 wickets in hand, and they've still ended up with a tie. So yeah, really, really fun game of cricket, that one. Bath will be kicking themselves.
Yeah.
Jump into the Row Green Denton West game. This one's a little bit different. They've been Denton West batting second, chasing 219. They needed a few more runs than that, and they only had 1 wicket in hand for a long time. I think the last 3 overs they needed about 80. No, not that much. About 11 to win, something like that. They had a load of absolute carnage in the 45th over. They got 20 runs off the 44th over, and then wicket, wicket, 6, and then wicket, and then clinging on. It went from all roses to all wheels off, and then 1 off the second to last ball to get the tie, and then a clean bowled off for Row Green to get the tie there. And then the last tie of the day, a Shepshed Barrow. Shepshed 235 for 9 batting first. They had a pretty load of carnage in their last over, 2 wickets in their last over and some runs as well. And then Barrow needed 8 to win, a little bit more uniform, although they had a mini collapse in the 47th over, but the runs kept flowing. They needed 8 to win. They got 7, including a wide. And then Susanna Mombessa was bowled by Chris Guest for 6 to seal the tie. So yeah, some proper fun ties there.
Yeah, I think when you're needing 15 or so as Barrow Town were, with 3 overs to go and 3 wickets in hand, you're feeling comfortable here. That last over, I can already, without the video, I can picture that one when you've got a bye, a 2, a 1-1, a wide, a 1. It's just everyone's heads going left, right, and centre, and then you get a wicket on the last one.
There's nothing worse a keeper than a bye in a tight game. I assume keepers up to the stumps there, aren't they? And, difficult ball or something like that. It's normally one that's gone straight through the batsman, past the inside edge, just goes through everybody. I hate that in a tight game if you let a bye through. Oh, horrible.
Great 3 ties. We think that is a new record. I'm going to go back to the start of the season, I think, Hugh, and I'm going to start looking at the weeklies to start tracking how many there's been, because it has been ridiculous. There's no 2 ways about it. There was also 2 games this week which were won by 1 run, and there were 4 games won by 1 wicket. It was one of those weekends, and we can only think that as the weather gets a little bit better, maybe actually the runs will start to flow a bit more. And we're going to get to see some big stuff then. Let's talk about big stuff, and let's talk about the Surrey Cricket Championship down south. They had a nice full day's cricket down there, and there's a lot of names around that league that are well known to people, but there's also a lot of names playing this weekend who scored and did things that people won't have heard before of. And that's always a nice thing when it's new ones. But I've got to talk about the first game myself, which is Normandy at home to East Moseley. Normandy, promoted into the Premier League this year. It's fair to say, with only 39 points from 6 games and they're still yet to win one, they're struggling. They've really found it difficult. And to be bowled out for 66, exactly. Andrew Westphal was 6 for 41, and then 14 overs. East Moseley had all the time in the world, didn't he, to get to 67 for 3. Jack Scriven 25 not out. He's scores run year in, year out. Tough, it seems, for Normandy there. They came up with Guildford, who are in 6th place, doing quite nicely, but top of the league. To be fair, East Moseley are the leaders at the moment. They best put one on Normandy there. But what else have you seen down there, mate?
Yeah, it's a tough league, isn't it? We know that. You talk to pros that have played in numerous places around the country, and Surrey is always right up there with amongst the best cricket, hardest cricket. So, Normandy, they've got work to do, haven't they? But can they pop down again? They know the levels, come back up again. Many teams have done it, so hopefully they can get that sorted. That Normandy game, East Moseley 67 for 3 in 14 overs. Very short game of cricket, all done in under 40 overs, so early finish there. I'm sure the barman was very pleased. Wimbledon against Guildford. Guildford 220 for 10 in 64 overs. Blake McDonald 125, but not a huge amount else. Kit Derrick, we mentioned him already, I think today, or was it last week? He's got 4 for 39 for Wimbledon, and then Jack Boyle, 108 not outs off 121 balls. Alex Barrett, 40. Billy Sewell, 34 not out. Got it done very comfortably for Wimbledon in 43 overs. Then Ben Way with 2 for 44 was a pick of the Guildford bowlers. Spencer against Ashted at Spencer. Spencer put up 197 in 53 overs. Freddie Haller, 47. Rishan Harath, 47 as well. And then Ashted, Ben Sidwell, 6 for 37 for Ashted. Terrific performance from him. Dan Geddes, 52 for Ashted in reply, along with Will Christopher. I think when they were going, it was still in the balance, but yeah, they didn't get there. So I suppose that's a win in the time game. It says one time on my stats here, so I forget whether it's a winning draw or what. But yeah, 166 for 9. They weren't able to get the job done. And then Isha against Reigate Priory at Reigate. Reigate 109 all out in 43 overs. Nobody getting past 30. Seb Allison, 5 for 31 off 15 overs. We know how good he is. And then Isha, they got there with 7 wickets down in 31 overs. It was a really high-speed game, this one. And with a low score in Travis Norris with 36 off 59. That's the highest score in the game. And then Tom Elam, he's been getting plenty of wickets, 4 for 38, and George Elam 2 for 27. So the Elam brothers doing very well there. But yeah, Isha snuck home in what was an awkward contest. And then yeah, there's the Banstead Sutton is the last game of the day in Surrey. Banstead against Sutton. Banstead batted first, 244 all out in 66 overs. Aish Patel, 64. Ahmed Khan, 55 were the main scorers for Banstead. Anish Jala, 4 for 79 for Sutton in 26 overs. Good spell from him. And then in reply, Sutton ended up with a winning draw from them. Cam Turner, 82 off 146. Dan Peel, 43 off just 25. And Max Wallace, 43 off 26. Took it very, very close. They were 3 shy of the win when they ran out of time. But just looking into the game, the last few overs was pretty much carnage. We got the 46 over going for 13 runs, 8 runs off the 47th, 10 off the 48th, 16 off the 49th. They really went for it, 17 runs. And then just a few wickets just ran out of steam towards the end. But a really, really great chase from Sutton, and they get the majority of the points. I think they get 13 and Banstead gets 7, so a really good performance from them. But yeah, just a shame they couldn't quite get over the line. It would have been a terrific win.
Yeah, I mean, when you say 49th over 10, 50th over 16, 51st over 17, you're on your way. 7 overs, and it's just losing that wicket in the 53rd over, and then another one in the 54th over, obviously did for Sutton in the end. But tremendous game there, to say the least. And it just one that, as a cricket fan, we love watching because we're neutral. But if you're a Sutton player and Sutton supporter, you look at it going, bloody hell, that couldn't have been any closer, could it?
Yeah, that's it. I'm just pointing out all these close games don't seem to have any cameras at them. Some weeks we seem to get cameras at all the games, and we don't seem to have any for any of these. So,
and we like a bit of carnage, don't we? Without a doubt. So, I think what's really interesting for me, you talked about sort of the speed of these games. I'm going to bring up a couple of games now that we wouldn't talk about on a week-to-week basis normally, but yeah, you've got to talk about the game in the Nottinghamshire League where Cavs and Carrington scored 301 for 7 on Saturday at home to Papelwick and Limby, only to be chased down in 31 overs. I mean, to chase down 301 in 31 overs, 9.79 and over. Yeah, the boys at Papelwick were messaging me on Sunday saying, is this the fastest ever? Simple answer is, not sure, but I tell you what, it ain't bloody far off, is it? I started looking at Hoyle and Swain games and seeing if there's anything similar there, because that's quick.
Yes, yeah, no,
that's quick.
Hoyle and Swain will have chased it. What was the game last year?
500 that was the 500 one, wasn't it? So, yeah. But the other one, of course, is the fastest finish of the weekend. High Wycombe were in no mood whatsoever, bowling Harefield out ridiculously quickly. And as a consequence, the entire game lasted 28.4 overs. We laugh about these things sometimes, but to be bowled out for 45 and then you chase down in 9 overs, that's a very quick weekend, but not as quick as Duffield got finished off, being bowled out for 36 at the weekend. It really was one of those weekends where the extremes were happening all over the place, Hugh.
Yeah. I think definitely had a pretty decent start to the season, so I don't think they'd be too concerned about that. Just looking at the Papplewick game, I always find it amusing. Apologies, Sam Watson. When Byron Hatton-Low, 117 off 47 balls, his opening par, 4-ball duck, and then Robin Smith has to be touched on earlier, 147 off 78. So
to be the highest scorer in the country.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're just thinking, oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
It's Raheem Ahmed getting the wicket, Farhan Ahmed, so the Ahmed boys at it again, aren't they? There's some serious bowling talent. But yeah, a great win from Papplewick. That's remarkable. And it just makes that league, the Notts League, really, really interesting. Because Cavs, have the power to run away with it, and actually that's put Kimberley well clear. But 10 from 10, Kimberley. I wouldn't have thought that at the start of the season. So
no, not at all. Kimberley driving down the A52 to Ockbrook and Borrowash in the National Club Championship this Sunday. That's a big tie. There's no two ways about it. But the even bigger one, I think, from Nottingham and Derbyshire, Spondon, second place in the Derbyshire League, versus Hucknall, second place in the Nottinghamshire League.
Are they both at home?
Yep.
They're both about 3 feet from each other as well. So there's some serious ECB Premier League action on Sunday, isn't there? I'm going to certainly get to one of those.
Yeah, most definitely myself as well. Now, we're going to talk about the last league of the week, the Middlesex League. And I'm sorry, Mr. Nick Friend. So last year in your centenary, or I think was it your 250th year, was it, for North Middlesex? And they won the title and had a fabulous year all round. I think they won half the bloody Middlesex leagues all the way down. 10th place after 6 games, though. Things are not going the way they would like at North Middlesex just yet. Whereas leading them at the top, Teddington, who, if I remember rightly, and I did a lot of work over the winter on this, I think had some of the most transferred in players of the entire winter. So very interesting that there's a lot of change there and doing very nicely. And Crouch End started the season like a train. That's some really big scores. And Tom Scully's come over and they're not putting it on for him anymore now, there, Hugh.
No. Sack him.
No comment.
No, he has been coaching them all season. He's just been coaching them slightly from afar, and now he's up close. But it's an interesting league. It was very much a sort of Bill Murray Caddyshack Cinderella story last year, wasn't it? With North Middlesex, and then maybe this year it's the Gophers being blown up in the whole story for North Middlesex. But they're a good side, aren't they? Hopefully they'll get their
Let's have a quick look at the games there, which go from the extreme to the extreme.
yeah. I'll start at the bottom. Hornsey, Ealing.
Yeah.
Ealing 81 all out in batting first. Not a lot going on there. Patrick Moore, not that one, and Shiv Patel both got 3 fizz. And then Hornsey got it in 20 overs, 4 down, pretty comfortable there. Josh Haynes 45 was the main damage there. Short game there. And then you go from a short game there to a very long game. 64 overs, Richmond batted to put up 294 for 6. Charles Nelson 47, Oliver Gunning 43, Nikhil Malik 44. Lots of contributions across the board to get them up to 300. And then Stanmore 273 for 6 in 56 overs. So that's a winning draw for Stanmore, I think.
Yeah,
possibly. Yeah, I don't know the way the rules work, but anyway. But Aaron Swan 77 was a top scorer. Daniel O'Driscoll with 56 as well. Mo Chowdhury 3 for 44 for Richmond. And then the Teddington game, North Middlesex game that you mentioned at Teddington. Teddington batted first in 61 overs. They put it 205. Ed Pollock 67. Marcus O'Riordan got 37. But again, useful team performance to get them to 205. And then Mohammed Rizvi with 5 for 60 for North Middlesex. And then North Middlesex ended in a bit of a heap. David Wynne got 38, but nobody else managed much. Neil Botha with 5 for 24 for Teddington was the chief destroyer there. Twickenham, Shepherd's Bush bringing the league back down to earth in 34 overs. Twickenham got 78. And then, nobody really getting going. 4 for 11 from Raymond Bailey. Idris Otto Mian, 4 for 40. Shepherd's Bush falling 1 short in 24.2 overs, getting bowled out for 77. Nobody getting any runs, really. And Carlos Nunes there with his 7 for 37. That was one of the second best bowling performance in the country I think, based on those stats there. So not only is he playing for Brazil or Portugal, he's also taken 7 for 37 for Twickenham to beat Shepherd's Bush, and they get
But you
the
know
win.
who he couldn't get out?
Who couldn't get it?
Our old friend Henry Blofeld.
Oh, well. So
doesn't make any difference.
We've got Carlos Nunes playing for Brazil and playing against the Bond villain. So there we go. Crouch End got the win in the last game of the Middlesex County League. Finchley 143 all out in 63 overs. That was a slow work at Crouch End. And then Ethan D'Souza 45. And then, Crouch End got there in 37 overs. Much quicker job done. Afara Prasad 61 off 109 balls. Natim Hassam 30 off 38 balls. And Crouch End's Pratik Patel with 5 for 28 was the chief destroyer there. And Seb Fez, I can't pronounce that surname. Sebastian Fezzuker Hatchet, there we go, 4 for 32 for Finchley. Was the best bowling performance for Finchley. Interesting league this weekend in Middlesex. There's lots of big scores and lots of low scores.
Considering how tight geographically those grounds are all to each other, and the weather would therefore be relatively similar all around, all over the shop, absolutely all over the shop, to say the least. And it adds to the fun of the fair, doesn't it? As I say, Teddington leading the list there in Middlesex League, with Ealing in second place and Hornsey in third. Poor North Middlesex down at the bottom with Stanmore. And they've just got to be careful. You don't want to get adrift too early on. It's only an 18-game season down there. And anything, all of a sudden you get to halfway and you're going, hang on a minute, where are we at here? Things can get very uncomfortable, can't they? But there's always the cup to look forward to, shall we say, for one or two of them.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's a fun league, isn't it? A lot of fun.
It is. It is, definitely. Let's talk about the big one this weekend then, mate, because, we've talked Premier League and we do go on about it a lot. And I know our friends at the ECB quite like us to go on about it as well. But, we've got the National Club Championship to look forward to. It is the last 16 games of the group, so it's the last 32 of the competition. Working my way from the top, Spondon versus Hucknall, Ockbrook versus Kimberley, great Derbyshire versus Nottingham battles. But then you've also got in that top two groups, you've got Halesowen versus Noel Dorridge and Barton Green versus Smethwick. Proper Birmingham League battles there. But we all know the games that we're looking forward to seeing the scores from in particular. In the next two groups, you've got Newfoundland versus York and Ormskirk versus Wallasey. We went on about it last week. If they win, we think it's the first time ever the national champions will come up against the national T20 champions in the next round, the round of 16 on the 12th of July. I think the Leyland Prestwich game is quite a fascinating one, Hugh. And South Northumberland versus Woodlands could go either way without a shadow. And if you want to have a look at the southern games, what stands out for you there, mate?
Yeah, I mean, they all stand out, don't they? That's the thing. Look forward to seeing City Cross Bridgie. That'll be fun. Shepherd's Bush, East Molesey, Bath, Bristol. Bath will be smarting after that tie there, so that could be fun. Peterborough Town, Horsford, keeping it real over in the east there. That's Northants versus East Anglia Premier League. Wimbledon, I mean, they're all good, aren't they? It's just, you want to I just hope they're all streamed. We have been looking at maybe some kind of streaming system that can share these and let people watch on a Sunday. That'll be a lot of fun to just be able to Champions League style dip in and out of these games and just pluck out wickets and stuff like that. We're looking at that. It might happen, but I mean, obviously we're local, aren't we, to Derbyshire, and there's two big Derbyshire Notts games there. That for me is the games of the day, just because we know the teams, we know the location so well, and we'll be able to pop down. But I think what I would do, I think it'd be nice to pop down to London and watch some of these games as well. I do like a London trip, and if the weather's nice.
Well, I might have someone looking at one of those games for us down south very specifically, because there might be someone on the ground at Wimbledon for me. We know the boys at Brentwood very well, obviously, and Sawston Babraham. That's a nice little drive down to Brentwood there. Me, personally, I'm not going to tell everyone where I'm going, because do you know what? I don't know yet. It's either going to be Spondon v Hucknall or Ockbrook versus Kimberley, and I'm not sure, because it's either.
You could do both.
Well, it's Stefan Muller and Ben Wright versus Greg Willows, Ollie Horlock and Sam Johnson and somebody called Dan Blatherwick from Hucknall, or it's Zimmers Deploy versus Matt Campbell at I mean, these are all names that we've talked about, not just this week and the last couple of weeks, but last season or two. That's the beauty of this. Big question for me in the third match is, will Steve Bullen be back for Newfoundland? He's had an absolute flying start to the season, but he's missed the last couple of weeks, and I can only presume there must be an injury or a holiday, one or the other, because why would he miss him? And will Ormskirk find their national championship form, because they've been rolled 3 times out of 3 in the last 3 league games for 80-odd, and 100-odd. You know, but they seem to be able to do it on the T20s and the national stage. So you just want to, as you say, you want to be at all of them, don't you? You want to be sort of parachuting yourself up across them all.
Yeah, they're just such fun, aren't they? They really, it just lets people pit the best against the best, doesn't it? And it's, to win this, you've got to get lucky. You know, you've always got to get a little bit lucky when you win something, to win game after game after game after game. But you need some serious quality to be able to just beat these other teams week in, week out. Is, you know, it's a remarkable achievement, really. You know, it's not like they're starting out now. That, you know, what, we 3 games deep already, and you've already beaten good sides.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's serious business as of now, isn't it? Really, real serious business. So yeah, looking forward to it.
What I'm looking forward to looking out for on Sunday, and especially down south, that's all I'll say, is how many NCCA players are missing from NCCA sides this weekend and popping up in these games, because we're into the penultimate round of T20s for these NCCA. Some counties are already not going to get through to the Super 12s. So if you're not going to get through to the Super 12s and you can play for your home side, your club side, you can just you can imagine the conversations going on between county coaches and club players at the moment, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. South North might be one of those, losing a few, and obviously down in the west, there'll be a few potentially, not available, shall we say, this weekend for other reasons.
I will be scrolling through and finding out on Sunday whether I am at Spondon or whether I am at Ockbrook watching the big screen. Where'd you go to say?
Is there a bigger screen in club cricket? I'd be interested to know.
No, I don't think so.
Can't be, can they?
Don't think so. I've got to ask though. You're more local to me, even. Which one's the warmer ground, Spondon or Ockbrook?
It's quite windy at Spondon.
Yeah, I thought that.
I do like Ockbrook. It's very pretty. I mean, they're both really nice grounds. They're both fantastic setups. So it's, you know, I'm splitting hairs here, but I think Ockbrook's probably the prettier, I would say.
I will not make that the title of the pod, or clip it this time, but there are people from Derbyshire who'll be listening and arguing with you.
Yeah. That's it. No,
Especially
they're both fantastic grounds. But I was told, I didn't see the old Spondon ground. Apparently, the old Spondon ground was lovely. I think a housing estate got built and they had to shift it. But that's about right. Spondon's got a very nice. I do worry about the cars in the car park at Spondon, though. It is not a big hit straight, and that car park needs a cage over it, really. Yeah. So if I do go to Spondon, I ain't parking there.
Yeah, well, I had the pleasure of being at Kibworth on Sunday for some analyst duties, and thankfully that car park is far enough away, and possibly the flattest pitch and ground I've ever seen in club cricket. I can see why Leicester should play their Metro Banks there, because it is absolutely stunning, with some very big fences next to the housing estate that's next to it. But absolutely stunning. You know, great place, Kibworth, to go and watch cricket. And stunning pavilion. And I hear rumours they might even be doubling the pavilions and having another one on the second pitch. And
nice, great
setup there, without a shadow of doubt. Very pretty out that way.
Very good.
Weekend of cricket to look forward to. The weather appears to be in the right direction. The jet stream, Mr. Newsom tells us, is the right direction.
Yeah, for actual weather information, have a look at the Met Office. Don't come to me. But
absolutely.
I think we're good.
We'll be good. We'll catch you next week, mate.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us at the Premier League Cricket Club. We'll be back soon with more from the world of Premier League and NCCA cricket. But in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review and follow us wherever you get your socials. Or maybe check out our website, premierleaguecricket.co.uk, to stay updated. Until next time, have a good one.